is Lily Arguello, and thank you so much for registering for the PIHRA member orientation. We're going to spend the next 60 minutes together. I know it may be your lunchtime, so if you want to make sure you have something to drink and a little bite to eat, that's fantastic. Just a little housekeeping before we begin. I am recording this, and I have recorded the member orientations, which are monthly, for months and years. I put them up on our YouTube channel. So after this is completed this afternoon at some time, I will email you all with the copy of the slides and a URL for our YouTube channel. And this will go up either later today or by Monday, the latest. I do like to make this fun and interactive, but please keep yourself muted until we have a moment or a pause for you to unmute. Most of the time we are coordinating via the chat, but because I do have a lot to cover, however, we may have some time. So we had around 15 people register. I would estimate around half of the 15 will join us, and that's fine too. So we may have time to have you unmute and ask a question live. So let's get started. Here's the agenda. Here's what we're going to be covering. We're in the welcome and general update portion of the agenda right now. We will do a little poll. I want to find out why you joined the orientation. What are you wanting to walk away from? It's not going to be a Teams poll because I had some technical difficulties, so we will use the chat, but I do want to hear, and hopefully you've spent some time thinking about what do you want to learn from this orientation? This is really for you, and I want to make sure you get the information you need to make the most out of your membership, or if, say, you're not a member, to make that decision. Yeah, I want to become a member. So I want you to have a next step after this orientation on how you're going to utilize your PIHRA membership, or really dig in to the PIHRA community. So start thinking about that. Again, we're going to use the chat. Then I'll do some more formal introductions. I'll introduce myself a little bit longer, the membership team, and really excited to introduce you to my special guest, Ignacio Plasencia, who you see his videos on, his titles up. So I'm really excited for you to meet him. Then we'll get into, based on what I heard you say that you want to walk away from this orientation with, I will tailor it to that, but we'll go through an overview of PIHRA, the organization, and how we're connected to SHRM. We'll go through some PIHRA member benefits. Then we'll focus on what's coming up in terms of HR learning for you and networking opportunities. And then at the very end, I have a list of events that are happening at the end of September and in October. And my challenge to you, so start thinking about it, is try to do at least one professional development or social event in the last quarter of the year. I know I have to push myself, so I'm going to challenge you to set that goal for yourself. Honestly, I suggest you go to at least one educational event / networking event per quarter, and we'll talk about why in a moment. So think about that, and I have a list of events that are coming up on the last slide. So again, please feel free to put your LinkedIn in the chat. I'm going to get mine in a moment. Let's see, I might not have it. I'll bring it up in a moment, but if you want, the networking starts now. So start saying hello to each other in the chat. I will say hello, and I'm in Southeast Los Angeles, just around probably like 4.5 miles southeast of downtown LA. So let me know where you're cybering in from today. All right. Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much. So I started this general update during the pandemic, but I liked it, so I'm keeping it. I am super excited to inform you that PIHRA is offering at least 2 free webinars for members each month. And the webinars have an educational component. If you're HR certified, you will get certification credits as well. We're also doing a lot more engagement events. So every month I go out there with my partner Brad de Camarmon, who's not here right now, and we're finding some other partners to do what we call a move and mingle. So it's absolutely free. We get out there, have a nice walk. Sometimes it gets a little sweaty, sometimes not, and we really are connecting that way. That's free for you. So we have some other free events. You just have to go to the calendar a lot. I absolutely encourage you to do some in-person events if you're in the Southern California area, because there's nothing like connecting and bonding with people in person. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. The place you'll want to go to find out what we have going on, what time the meetings are, where the meetings are the calendar. I know there's other places on our website. For example, if you research different chapters, which we'll talk about later, that'll say, oh, chapter so and so meets on the third Tuesday of each month. Don't count on that. I do get calls from time to time like, hey, I'm standing here in front of XYZ location. There's no meeting. Don't count on those. Uh, the pandemic really changed things up in that we are trying to meet our members where they are. So it's not always that consistent monthly meeting that you'll want to expect. And I'll give you an example of that. So for example, PIHRA North OC used to meet religiously on the same day each month at the same time. But we discovered that different people have different needs. I know I can't get to early morning meetings. So what they decided to do is 1 month they'll have their traditional morning meeting. The next month they'll have a lunchtime meeting, which will be an idea lab or a panel or some sort of interactive workshop. And then the month after that, they'll have a social at some cool event in Anaheim, and there'll be like a micro learning component to it. So, and several other chapters are doing that. So each month you'll expect something, you'll find something different, and it's at a different time. And another great example of a chapter doing that is PIHRA South OC. So please, please, please go to the calendar before you go to any event, and register for it in advance. And we'll talk more about that.
And I will say, Lily, to remind
Uh-huh.
people, so I know that a lot of times, out of sight, out of mind, and I am the worst at that. I mean, look at all these whiskers, these gray whiskers. They don't come with like a lot of knowledge and a lot of memory. And so what I do to remind myself is I put the PIHRA website um on my Chrome up in my bookmarks. And I put it front
Oh,
and center so that when I'm at work all day long and I'm clicking on all my bookmarks for things that I have to get done at work, it's up
you
there
see
every
it.
single day. And so I see it every single day. And so it reminds me at least once a week to go in there. And so that I click on my PIHRA website, I go in there and I check out the calendar events to see what's going on. And so that I don't miss things, because that way, whatever's going to be happening around my area, I can get to something after work. I can remind myself. And I like to take my some of my employees or some of the people that are around my area. I like to invite them to these kinds of things, and it's a great way for me to keep in contact with people and have a nice night out with them.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ignacio. And welcome, Stephen. Claremont's in the house. Kayla, you're in East Monrovia. I'm familiar with you, and we've met before. Um, Ignacio, who's I'm so excited to have you meet him a little bit more. And Kenna, welcome. Thank you for being a student member and joining. Really excited about that. Okay, so as I promised, we're going to use the chat because I had a little like faux pas. But what is the information you're seeking today? Um, here's some examples. What do you want to learn more about? Do you want to learn more about PIHRA chapters, PIHRA monthly meetings, seminars and conferences? And put this in the chat. You want to learn more about Mineral, which is our online HR tool benefit. Are you interested in HR certification? How about volunteering? PIHRA and or maybe you're like, well, how are PIHRA and SHRM connected? I don't know. I know Ken is like, I'm a SHRM member. What's going on? How is PIHRA connected? So in the chat, and it could be other things like, hey, I want to learn how to develop my business, or it's free game. I want you to be authentic. I'm very authentic. So let me know. I would be happy to answer some of those questions. And if I can't answer them in detail during the next 60 minutes, or actually now we have 48 minutes, I will encourage you to set up time with me. And I'll also follow up in the email with the slides. I'm going to put links to different resources that we have so you could read a little bit more. But again, if you like to chat, everyone's a little different. I like to see things in writing and speak. Some people just want to call me. So that's great. Just let's set up a time that we could talk. And I'd be willing to do that. So, Stephen, I would like to know more about the PIHRA monthly meetings, fantastic, and seminars and conferences, and I'm like looking to expand my network. Fantastic. Kayla, I'm stuck to get navigate mineral and just learning more about PIHRA. So I want to make sure I'm making the most out of my membership. Okay, you know what? Maybe so I got mineral and I got a focus on the monthly meetings and the chapters and seminars. Anybody else? I see, is it JL? You're writing. Let me pause for a second. Seminars. PHR, HR certification. How can PIHRA help with certification? All right, well, let's get going. There's a lot here. So wonderful. And then if you have more specific questions after I go through all this, just put it in the chat. And again, I'm a resource for you. I love my job. I love being a director of membership at PIHRA. I'm here right on the right. Yeah, the right. A little background on me. I started my career in organizational development consulting. I am a UCLA undergraduate, and I started working for a professor at the Anderson Graduate School of Management. So I kind of grew up in consulting, grew up in organizational development. We did strategic planning. I call myself a corporate culture nerd, but really I'm a history nerd. And but I love to talk about and try to identify and tease out what are the organizational behaviors that set organizations apart, and what are areas of development that they may want to kind of shift around. So I love that stuff. That's how I started my career. I wanted to go internal into HR, and it was right around 2007 2008 when I was doing that. And that was, if you are old enough, you might remember that was the great recession. The real estate market was collapsing, banks were collapsing, and so I ended up going the nonprofit route. I did some work in the nonprofit housing area because a lot of people were in foreclosure. We were helping people with that, and I got to use my project management and my planning skills in that role. Did a lot of media management. I went from there and got recruited over to the Girl Scouts of Greater Los Angeles, where I started doing partnership building on the membership side. So that's where I got the introduction to the membership marketing and community side, and loved it there. If you don't know, that is the largest leadership development for women in the world. So kind of right up my alley, coming from the OD world, and really like that. We started losing funding, and I wasn't really looking at the time, but I had done some volunteer leadership work through that period. I got my MBA at Pepperdine's Grazidio School, and started networking that way. So I know Steven said he wanted to get out there, expand his networking. I believe in Ignacio, when we get a chance, you might agree, volunteering is networking on steroids. So it just so happened I got really close with a friend of mine who knew my current boss, Rafael Rivera, and he found me on LinkedIn, and that's how I got this job. So networking is where it's at. Don't wait till you have to find a job to start networking. And volunteer leadership, it's just embedded. Gaining visibility in whatever industry, marketplace, community that you want to expand in. If you're volunteering in that community, it just happens. People get to know you. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So I got recruited over here. I love my job. We grew membership. I started in 2014. We were growing membership, growing our conference till the pandemic. And then, things kind of leveled out a little bit, but we have a great team. I'll introduce you to a couple other team members in a bit, but that's who I am. I am very responsive on email, so don't wait to get frustrated. Like, oh, what's going on? I can't access this. I can't do. Just email me. I'll help you. I'm uh, Monday through Friday. I usually get back to you pretty quickly, but my commitment to you is getting back to you within 24 hours. You could also call. May not be able to answer the phone right away. I'll try if I'm available, but leave me a voicemail or just email me. There's my email address, membership@PIHRA.org. You're going to get these slides. I'd love to help you. I want to help you succeed in your career and in your life. So here on my left is Sonia Montiel. She is my liaison with the PIHRA board. We'll talk a little bit about our structure in a moment. She's fantastic. She is located in the Ventura County area, so you may see her if you're. There's no one here, I think, in that area that I've noticed. She'll go to the Pirate Woodland Hills event. Sometimes she goes to LA events. Yeah, just yesterday she was at the Pirate Ventura County event. Follow her on LinkedIn. She's very active on LinkedIn. She is one of the kindest people, and also her background is in education and leadership development. So if you ever want to reach out to her, she's very accessible. And I think that's the beauty of PIHRA, that we have a very strong, friendly, warm community. And now I'm so excited to introduce you to Ignacio. I'm going to stop talking, Ignacio, so you can tell everybody who you are and how you're connected with PIHRA.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So my name is Ignacio Plasencia. I have two hats. I'm the Pyro regional representative for the Valley region. So I help support the Woodland Hills, the Burbank, Pasadena, and
Mhm.
the the Glendale
Oh,
chapters.
oh,
Yes. And then I'm also the vice president of human resources for Homeboy Industries. I just recently started here at Homeboy about 4 months ago. I started my human resources career about 14 years ago after just right after the Great Recession, as we started talking. I at the recession, I lost my job and I came back to school to Cal State LA. I got my degree in human resource management, and I moved to New York to get a job out there. But I will say that my first dive into Pyra, I was actually a student member at the Cal State LA chapter of Pyra. So that was my very first time that I was part of Pyra. When I moved to New York, they didn't have Pyra, so I kind of fell off the radar for a little while. And I came back a few years ago, and I was a member for a year before I started um, my dive um, into the volunteer leadership role. And I will say that my time here as a volunteer leader with Pyra has really helped to grow my career. It's been one of the things that I think has really set me apart from other people. It's a great resume builder. It's really something that stands out that people really love to see. It helps you with your skills, with not only your soft skills, but also with your networking. You never know where your next job is going to come from, who you're going to meet. And you get to make these connections with people, and people will talk about you in different areas and different places, and they'll say, hey, this person knows that person. And I will say that this job at Homeboy is not the first job that I was not the first candidate that they wanted. or something fell through with the other person, and they called me back and said, "Hey, are you still interested?" And so you just never know what's going to happen. And this is the second time it's happened to me, and it's always been a blessing for me in my career, and I've done really well. So you just never know where it's going to come from. So, and networking for me has always really worked out really well. So I would say, stick to it. And, if you can make out and carve out some time for some volunteer leadership, it's really a game changer because again, it helps you develop a lot of skills. It helps you meet a lot of people, and it really gives you that next level in your career. And it, the skills that you pick up really translate into your business life as well.
I love that. And Ignacio is, what are you doing? A 5K? Is it the Homeboy
We are,
Industries 5K?
yes. Yeah, we are tomorrow. We are doing our annual 5K run for Homeboy Industries. I put together a running team myself this year, and I was able to raise over $3,000 with just asking my
Wow.
friends for money, just hitting up all my friends and my husband's friends and my family members, and just asking everybody for $25 to $50 each. And so I'll be doing that. I'll be briskly walking, but yes, I'll be doing that tomorrow with a handful of friends of mine. So we're very
That sounds
excited about
fun.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Where's
yeah. It'll be a
that?
good time.
Is it
It's right here in
downtown?
Chinatown. Yeah, in Chinatown, our
Okay.
headquarters are right here in Chinatown. We're right across the street from the Chinatown Blue Line station, right on
I'm gonna
Alameda
look
and
it up.
College.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody's ever interested, come visit me. We have the best chilaquiles in town at the Homegirl Cafe. It's a
Oh my God,
wonderful
yum.
restaurant. And if you love coffee cake and breads and
And a
oh my God,
great
we have the best
mission.
sweets and
And a
a
great
wonderful mission.
mission.
Yes, we are the
All right.
largest gang rehabilitation and reentry center in the world. It's a really wonderful place.
That's fantastic, Ignacio. Well, keep chiming in as we go. No one really asked about our structure, but I'm going to go through it really quickly. This is our mission. We exist for the California HR community. We provide innovative and dynamic programming. We're always trying to find new speakers, new ways, learning technologies, um, professional development, and the high impact networking opportunities. And we do that through different modes. So, like I said, networking to me, yes, going to events is part of that, but really building community by volunteering, investing time in PIHRA is like Ignacio said, a game changer. And if you, I was lucky enough to have a mentor at work that was watching what I was doing, was encouraging me to do those sorts of things. So hopefully you have someone at work that's encouraging you to build your leadership skills outside of the organization, and they're watching that because that they know that you are proactively uh, wanting to move upward. And so the next time they see a leadership opportunity in the organization, they're going to think, oh gosh, let's talk to Lily or let's talk to Kayla about the work that she's doing with this other organization and how that fits in with what we're looking for in this director VP job. Here's some other plays. Oh, by the way, let me go back for a second. We are a SHRM affiliate. We are the largest SHRM affiliate in the United States. There are, gosh, I think over 500 SHRM affiliates throughout the United States. There's also one in New York, Ignacio. They have student chapters, and so do we. So we're kind of like a little mini SHRM, if you will. Very unique. We are the largest SHRM affiliate by like 100% or almost we double the next largest SHRM affiliate, which I think is in Texas. So we're a little unique, but we are a SHRM affiliate in good standing. We were established in 1944. So this year is our 80th anniversary. We're celebrating it, and we'll talk a little bit more. We have this special, if you're not a member, we have an $80 membership special, so take advantage of it. There is some criteria for it, but we definitely will find ways to work with you on that. Um, and what else should I tell you? We're primarily volunteer led. So I am on staff because we're the largest shrimp chapter, and I'll let you know what our CEO, our fearless leader, has done for PIHRA. Um, so we do have a small staff, but our chapters and because we're a nonprofit association, we have a board and so Ignacio is on the PIHRA association-wide board, but we also have boards at the chapter level and the special interest group level. So that just to kind of paint a little bit of a picture of how we're organized. Here, these two players, I'd like to introduce you to Susan Bowman. She has a lot of certifications. She is the president of the board. She's not incoming anymore. She is the president, and she'll be president through 2026. She has over 30 years experience in HR at all levels. She's very approachable. She is now a senior HR consultant, but she's worked for companies like Rite Aid, for example, and you'll see her at all of our big seminars, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Um, Here, Rafael Rivera is our CEO, my supervisor. He's very active on LinkedIn. So if you want to give me a shout out, just connect with him on LinkedIn. I really credit him for rebranding PIHRA, rebranding our conference. Conference used to be called the PIHRA Annual Conference. It's now the California HR Conference, and he's just really done a great job uh, evolving PIHRA, although we are very much rooted in our history, we've evolved, and it's because of him. And he's just fantastic, and also a great connector. So if you want to be connected to different jobs, feel free to reach out to him. And he's at all of our events as well, all of our signature events. But he does attend. If you're in Orange County, you might see him at a South Orange County event or a North Orange County event. So watch out for him. Very tall. He's a former basketball player. So if you see him, here's a little bit about uh, our membership. We have right around 3,400, 3,450 members right now. The largest number of them are at the HR manager generalist level. So you'll see if you go to our events, a lot of the professional development is geared toward that. We're very well known for our employment law. We have a lot of law employment attorneys that are our friends, and we find that most of our community is attracted to those sorts of learning opportunities. Right around 20 to 30% are at the HR director and above level. We also, I'd like to comment, right around 15 to 17% are service providers. Don't want you to be scared of the service providers. They are great connectors. It's their job to find out what HR's pain points are. They might be insurance brokers. They can be staffing folks. They could be developing business for wellness firms and things of that sort. They know they come here to build relationships, and really, some of them are even HRCI or SHRM certified because they do want to understand what the needs of the community are. Um, right around 40% of our members, I'm here on the lower left, are HR certified. Now they could be certified. This is the HRCI uh, uh, logo, but this is a combination of being certified through HRCI, which is the SPHR and PHR, or the SHRM certification, which is a newer certification. At any of our professional development presentations are approved for HRCI recertification and SHRM recertification. So we'll talk a little bit more about certification in a bit. So that is one of the ways that we help people who are already certified, is that we help them get their recertification credit. I see a couple of things in the chat, so let me pause for a moment.
Oh, well, what I was saying is that one, CELO is coming up in October. So the California Employment Law update. And when we were talking about the some of the vendors that you say are part of the organization, also don't be afraid of those people. Some of the times, some of the the best connections that I made are with some of the vendors, because not only you never know when you're going to need some of the products that they're selling, or if you land at a new organization, you might need some of their services because the whoever you might have made it just might be a time for a change at the organization that you're at. But in addition to that, many times these vendors will be having they offer free learnings as well. And so,
Hmm.
like very recently, last month, I went to a learning that IMA was having at their Pasadena office for an FMLA learning, and they had a lawyer there who was giving an update on new laws regarding FMLA. It took me a couple of hours. It was close enough here to my office. It came with a beautiful free lunch. I got caught up on a lot of new laws that I needed to know. And I will say, when I told my boss that I was going, and I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to this meeting. I need to step away for a few hours. And she asked me a little bit more about it, and I told her exactly what it was about. I told her, I was like, yeah, I go to a lot of these things. I told her, I go, it's part of me being in PIHRA. I learn about these meetings. I go to them. I go, and they're usually, I go, most of them are always free. I go, and it just keeps me up to date on employment laws and things that I need to know. And she says, and this is what she told me. She says, good for you and good for us. She goes, thank you for
Yeah.
taking that initiative. Because, hey, I told her when I got to this organization, I said, one of my biggest goals is going to be keeping us free of lawsuits here. And so I do everything that I can to keep this organization free of lawsuits, because that I know, being part of a nonprofit, lawsuit money
Hmm.
comes out of donor money. And that's not something that I want on my watch here.
Yeah. True. Although we are competing with them for professional development. Um, but I love that. There's some attorney groups too that do free breakfast briefings. I want to help you. So while it is competition for us, we're trying to figure this out. One law firm that does free training, Ignacio, is Atkinson, Andelson, Loya, Rudd, and Romo, AALRR. I call them Ailer, but that's not what they like me to call them. um, but they also do free breakfasts. You get meal, you get
Uh,
fantastic professional development. And again, we're in California, right?
yeah.
This is the most litigious state, has the most laws, which I love. They are supporting employees, but you do not want to get caught up in anything like a
Mm,
paga or a wage an hour, like,
yeah.
oh, sexual harassment. You need to know what you're doing with that
I
for
mean,
sure.
I don't know about anybody else's learning ability. I go to everything. I go to ours, I pay for ours, I go to ours, I go to the free ones, I go to everything because there's just so much out there that I can't retain everything all the time. So
Yeah,
I need it all the time. Otherwise, I'm gonna forget it. So
yeah. Um,
you'll always see me
I
there.
I see. I love what is the best. This is a great question, Denise. I would like to know about the best kept secret resources Pyra has. I love Ignacio's responses, but you know what I think is the best kept secret? Volunteer leadership. Because people get jobs because they someone meets them because they are a Pyra chapter volunteer. So the perfect, I'm showing you a slide with our 18 chapters. There are so many different ways to volunteer. If you're new to to Pyra, ICE, and are interested in volunteering, go to some chapter events. You figure out, is this the organization, is this the chapter that I want to be involved in? As a Pyra member, you select your preferred chapter, but you can go to any chapter meeting at the member rate. Just remember, you want to probably register in advance to make sure you get the member rate, which could be $15 to $20 less than the non-member rate. Each chapter is pretty autonomous. They have their own boards. I'm telling you, for me, that's the best kept secret. And it's not because you're going to be working with Pyra, but people will get to know you, your time management skills, your leadership skills, the quality of your work. And the service providers that we were talking about, they know where all the open positions are, right, Ignacio? So when they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pick on you, Kayla. I'm working with Kayla. She's doing such a great job. She's diligent. She's a great leader. She knows how to handle difficult situations. She's a great team player. I'm gonna recommend her for this job." It happens a lot. That for me is the best kept secret. But so I know, for example, Stephen, you're in Claremont. We have a group. I hope I can't see this map very well. Hopefully you can see it. But we have a chapter called PIHRA Inland Valley. They meet out of the Pomona Mining Company. That's pretty close to you. We go as far south as San Diego, North County, San Diego. They're not very active right now, but very close to them is PIHRA South OC. They're our largest chapter before the pandemic. Sorry, yeah, I'm still talking about before pandemics. Like, I'm nostalgic for that time. But before the pandemic, they had over 700 members, just that chapter. So if you would attend that meeting, you could meet like between 70 to 100 people. Our second largest chapter, and if you guys have been around for a while and are coming back after a long hiatus, PIHRA Long, not Long Beach, PIHRA Los Angeles was our first chapter in 1944. That was our first chapter. We used to be called districts. The chapters used to be called districts, and that they had numbers. And District 1 was LA, and that's why. We go as far north as Antelope Valley. That's a pretty small chapter. Santa Clarita. I saw someone is in Santa Clarita. I thought I saw. Um, and Ventura County is a fantastic chapter. And we go all the way west to Santa Monica, and that is our PIHRA West LA chapter. They're fantastic. And we go as far east as Coachella Valley, and they meet at a Palm Desert. I'm not a Hunger Games. Kayla, share with me. Yeah, they are kind of, I don't think they're that competitive, but they are different little kingdoms. I didn't watch Hunger Games that much, I'll be honest. But
Just the word districts, that's all. I'm not saying that they're
oh,
competing to the death or anything.
but no, they don't fight to the death, but they each have their own culture. And so, for example, Ignacio probably knows this, Pyra Burbank Glendale, they call themselves the fun chapter, and they're just a great group. Um, but what I like to say here, a couple things is there is a cost to go to the chapter events. Like I was saying, we don't do it for free, and it's because they have to pay for the venue, and there's usually a meal,
Hmm.
and we're a nonprofit. So, but there's also the more traditional chapters. It's an hour-long session, so you get one recertification credit for the hour. Um, and the other thing is that we have a wonderful community. If you want to get to know people, it shakes some hands. You'll be greeted pretty warmly. If you're a little, I have social anxiety. So if you have a little bit of social anxiety, just email me and I'll be sure to make an introduction to someone who I know is going to be at the event so they greet you warmly. But this is how we differentiate ourselves because we have meetings going on all the time and with different people. So go to a meeting, check it out, ask about volunteer opportunities because I may not know about all the opportunities that are available. Right now, we're in our election season, so they're looking for successors for next year. But for me, that is the best kept secret. So, and we also have 12 student chapters that are embedded in local universities. Like, for example, we have one at Cal Lutheran University. Denise, you're in Chatsworth, so we have Cal Lutheran, Cal Poly's in Pomona. We have Cal State LA, Claremont. Graduate University is one of our chapters. Cal State Dominguez Hills, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Northridge, Loyola Marymount, and UC Irvine. We got a chapter at USC and at my alma mater, UCLA. So, oh, great, a CGU relative, fantastic.
And
But
Lily, in regards to
yeah, go
the
ahead.
meetings, I will say, like the Pasadena meetings are so much fun. And I will say, the for the price of the ticket, which is usually about $30 for the Pasadena ones, I tell everybody, I mean, you get dinner, because it's a very nice dinner at the place that we usually hold it at, this
It's
place called
Nor,
Nor.
right? It's so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's $30 usually. It's you get dinner, you get drinks, and you get the learning, right? And I always tell everybody, it's like I always try to take something from that learning, something that I can put to work right away in my HR practice. And again, it's dinner and drinks. I mean, I can never go anywhere for dinner and drinks for $30, let alone,
Oh,
and a
yeah.
learning as well. I was joking with someone. I was like, "Gosh, I'm gonna start bringing my husband to these things so that I could be like, hey, we're going on a date night. It's like just sit there and have dinner and drinks and let me, be over here and do my thing that I have to do." And it is a little intimidating, like Lily said, the very first time, the very first once or twice that I went, I didn't know anybody, and it was very intimidating. But once you get to know people, and once you've gone once or twice, trust me, it becomes like second nature. You'll start to meet people, you'll start to learn people, you'll start to see friendly faces and people that you've met before, and you'll be like a duck in water. I promise you, it's gonna be like second nature.
Yes. By the way, I love the idea of bringing even a friend, husband, wife, partner. I've seen that happen before. And you're right. I can't go to dinner. I can't go to McDonald's, which I don't do. But even last night, I'm like, you know what? Let me treat myself. It was 21 bucks just for like
I
something that wasn't
know,
even that good. So
for that
yeah, good
crap.
point. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about member benefits. I know that Kayla had a question about a mineral. Um, this is just if you want to scan this, this is where you're going to get the $80 membership if you're not a member. We are the eligibility requirement for the $80 membership, because we never sell membership for $80. I couldn't even find in our records when our membership was $80. So it's a deal of the century, but it's for in-house HR practitioners only. So you have to be working within a large organization, not an HR consultant or something like that. So I apologize if that's you. Otherwise, it's $175. But if you email me, I will work with you. I right off the bat can give you $15 off the 175, or if we talk a little bit more, I can discount it a little bit more because I want this for you. I want you to be a part of this community. One, don't do HR alone, but don't do life alone. I mean, find a community for yourself. If anything, I felt stronger being alone during the pandemic, but I know that that's not useful to me. You want to find a community for you. So, which leads me to this slide here, the top 6 benefits. And we talked about HR education and training. We have that at the monthly meetings, at the seminars, which I'll talk to you about. We have California Focus HR. People come to us from all over the country for the California Focus HR, particularly employment law, because that's kind of where the crux of the California focus is. Like Ignacio said, we have an HR advisory hotline, which I think you'll see the number on the next slide. We have a online HR handbook builder. We have a job description builder. We have free webinars. But what I think is most important is the relationships that you build. I encourage everybody to come and build their HR board of directors. I had a volunteer say that they have built their HR Fab Five. So if we want to talk about movies, and those are the people that you have. I don't think you could see my phone. You have on speed dial on your phone. Yes, you're going to have your mentors and coaches from the organizational level, but you always want to have someone outside of the organization that has different experience, that will share some brilliance with you that you could bring into your organization, and kind of bring in those fresh ideas. So this is where you're going to build your HR Fab Five that you can count on if something's blowing up at the office and you just want to call somebody else. You could also call the HR hotline, but kind of they field your call. It's just not the same as saying, "Hey, can you talk for a little bit?" Right, Ignacio? Like, "Hey, oh my gosh, someone just came in saying
Yeah.
XYZ. How would you have you dealt with this before?" say that you haven't, and you could call Ignacio, for example, like, oh my gosh, this is happening, and they could share with you what worked for them, what didn't work for them, so you can
Hmm.
really navigate that. I think that's the richest part of our community. What do you think, Ignacio?
No, I think it's a wonderful thing because you never know what somebody else has already dealt with, like Lily said. And if you call someone, especially, if you're in the younger part of your career and you get someone who's done a little bit more, that person may have already dealt with this. They've already dealt with this with lawyers, they've already dealt with this with other professionals. And then when you call them, you get the advantage of not just that one person, you get everybody else's help, right? So like if I had somebody with something, somebody called me the other day and one of my friends and they were like, "Oh my God, have you ever dealt with this?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just got off, a call with a lawyer the other day about this exact same thing." I'm like, "Let me tell you what the lawyer told me." And then I give him the exact same advice that this lawyer gave me for free. And I was like, so at the same time, it's like we were all able to take advantage of this lawyer's free advice, right? So, hey, why
That's a
not?
great point. Go to our employment law events and the lawyers will give you free advice. They will pay on the phone with you 10 to at least for 10, 15 minutes until they
Hmm.
start charging. Because if you
Yeah.
don't, I mean, and I'm very intimidated by attorneys. I don't know why, but the attorneys that are pirate friends, they are the sweetest people. They will
Hmm.
spend a little time with you. So if you want to make one of them part of your Fab Five for
Yeah.
sure. But if you need an investigator, say you need to have someone come in to do sexual harassment training or translating documents, or I mean, this that Fab 5, they're going to know somebody that can refer you and that have knowledge. I just called someone in my Fab 5 this morning about a company wanted to get the inside scoop about. Um, so important. I can't emphasize that enough. But here's some tools. This is the Pyro Workplace. Kayla, I think you asked about this. We have if this can be temperamental. So if you're getting frustrated with this, just email me because I'll help fix it or I'll find a solution for you. I don't please count on me. I get it. I don't like remembering my passwords or like all that stuff either. So I will streamline that for you. So just be have an open heart, open mind and heart with this. If you are having trouble, what you have to do to get on the online platform is sign in to PIHRA because it's a single sign-on technology, and then go to a website on our page and click on it. I don't have time right now to walk you through it, but we can walk through it together. So much in here. Also, as a member, you get Pyra Learn, which is on the right of this slide. It's an enterprise-wide learning platform where you could train your employees. There's like 230 core learning modules that are included. Some of the mandatory modules like the sexual harassment module for managers, that you just have to, it's actually pretty affordable, you just have to um, pay for that. And there's also a mandatory OSHA safety training, so you just have to pay for that, but it's pretty discounted for Pyra members. So just reach out to me if you're having any trouble with this. This right here would cost you, with the Pyra Learn, around $10,000 if you were to purchase it on your own, and it comes with the Pyra membership. So it's worth checking out, but you have to understand you will spend some time in here trying to figure out how to use it. There's so much in there. So, but it is a little bit an investment on your part. If you have an HR team, HR membership team, we have discounted prices for that. So here, if you're interested in that, you'll get this slide. I won't spend too much time on that. Volunteering, I talked a lot actually about volunteering. It makes an impact on your career. I know our Pyrite Inland Valley chair from several years ago, she found one of her positions after leaving a position for like 10 years. She found a position because someone thought of her because she was the chair. So um, if you have any questions about that, reach out to me. I'd be happy to introduce you to any of the uh, volunteers at a chapter near you. That'd be my pleasure to do. We also have
And
volunteer opportunities. Go ahead.
And I'm sorry, and don't be afraid to volunteer. When I first volunteered, I didn't know what I was doing. I put my name out there because I was like I thought it was an interesting thing I wanted to do. I put my name out there. Then I got an email saying that, hey, congratulations, you're the new Valley rep, and I was like, well,
Oh,
what did I get myself into? What am I doing? And the very first day that I went to the board of the directors meeting, I was like a deer caught in the headlights. I didn't know what I was doing, and so I really quickly spoke to somebody else that I knew, and I was like, "Help me out!" I was like, "I'm in this new thing. What do I do?" And I worked it out really quickly, and now it's like no big deal. But so don't be afraid. Everyone is very sweet. They'll all help you right through it. They'll all help you acclimate to it. They'll explain everything to you. So just don't be afraid to volunteer. Just get in there.
yeah, it's a pretty low risk opportunity, and we want you to come. And I think like 90% of it is showing up. It's just being present, honestly. So, but what I was going to say is that we also have limited uh, uh, ad hoc volunteer opportunities at our conference. Our conference is coming up in May. It's our annual conference, so May 2026. And those volunteer opportunities will open up either at the end of this year or at the beginning of next. So go to PIHRA.org/volunteer. There is a QR code on that page asking if you're interested in volunteering, and it'll take you through a series of questions and then refer you to different information that will be helpful, or you could just reach out to me. So I talked about we have our election season upon us. Our nominations were open yesterday. So if you're interested in, you have volunteer experience in other organizations, we have our organization-wide, association-wide treasurer positions open. Our secretary position is open. We have a couple regional reps, not Ignacio's, but we have a couple other regional rep opportunities open. And so if you're interested in those, reach out to Ignacio. I think Ignacio, you put out your LinkedIn. So
Hmm.
you'll see that in the notes if you're interested in any of these. And then at the chapter level, our chapter chair and vice chair positions are elected positions. The rest of them are appointed. So the chair of the chapter appoints those positions. But if you're interested in finding out more about this process, just go scan this QR code and you'll get this in the slides. Okay, the last part is learning and networking. I know some of you talked about or asked about our conferences and what's coming up. We have virtual learning, chapter meetings, conferences, the California HR conference, the California Employment Law Conference is coming up in October. We could talk more about that. We have some specialty programs. So let's talk about rates. Members get a discounted rate, but what I find after doing some research is, comparatively speaking, our professional development is pretty affordable. So there's that you will leave being able to take action with something you learned at the workplace. And like Ignacio said, learn something, try to find a way to put it in practice right away so that you can utilize that learning, because if not, you'll just forget it. Coming from a consulting background, we know as trainers and facilitators that it can take 3 to 4 times of repeating something for you to actually absorb it. So go to a lot of events, free webinars we talked about. You're going to get a list of them at the end. Certification. I I highly believe certification is important. We offer prep courses. We have one of the best HR certification prep instructors west of the Mississippi. His name is Richard Dawson. Um, but the prep courses aren't enough, at least for me. It really depends on the individual. If you're a great test taker and you take the prep course, study for 2 3 months, study the book for 2 or 3 months, and you pass. That's not me. I had to reread and read every single part of the prep materials. I did the SHRM SCP. I love those materials. Some people prefer the HRCI. Hey, that's good too. I like the SHRM exams. They're competency based, so very a lot more situational questions there. So you're looking for the best answer, not the right answer. So a lot of studying. What I loved about our prep courses is not only the materials and instructors, but I got to meet people that were taking the exam during the same time I'm taking the exam. So I set up study groups with them, and we just followed each other through the process. I love the camaraderie with that. I love studying with them, and I like being held accountable from this team. So I think it was JL. I don't know if you're still here, but that's how PIHRA can help you with your HR certification. And if you have any questions, because it can be a little mystifying, let us know. And either I can help you through that or I'll find someone to help you. All right. I love the memes. Here's the California employment law update. We're going to be in Santa Ana on October 28th. It's a full day. You get 9 PHR credits, PHR California credits for it. It's a full day of sessions. Plus, we have some extra sessions that we're going to be providing as recorded sessions afterwards. So this includes both the in-person and everything that's recorded live on we record live actually on October 30th in Burbank, and then we're gonna supplement that with I think an additional 4 or 5 recordings. So you're getting a lot of learning from our employment law partners. We'll be in Burbank on the 30th. We'll be in San Diego. I think we'll probably be in Del Mar on January 15th, and we'll be in Riverside at the Riverside Convention Center January 22nd. We like to do these in October because it's right after the governor signs everything into law, and it's going to be an interesting law year, if you ask me. A lot going on. This is our first ever cruise, so this is almost sold out. And Raphael, I love him to death. He bought the domain hrcruise.org. So this is going to be all kinds of fun. It's a 5-day cruise to Cabo. Ignacio, are you going?
I'm hoping to. I'm not
Okay.
sure if I'm going to be able to make it work because I have some dates here at work that might not be able to let me go, but I'm
Okay.
hoping to.
Yeah, so the fun thing is that it's 2 days of learning, 3 days of fun. So bring a partner, bring your friend, bring an HR, one of your HR Fab Fives. But it's almost sold out. So I don't even know if I can go. And I thought I was going to be able to go, but I don't know. So yeah, lots of fun on the cruise. We're almost done. I got 2 minutes. Remember what I said at the beginning? Make a goal for yourself to attend an upcoming event. If it's not in October, we do have a blackout for the California Employment Law Conference at the end of October, but you'll see additional meetings start happening in mid-November through the end of the year. I know, what am I doing? I'm going to be at the October 11th PIHRA Move and Mingle. It's free. I forgot to put free for all, but we're going to be at Bomber Meadow in Irvine. If you're around there, go. I also, I thought that October 8th, the PIHRA Gateway Cities, they're in Cerritos, so kind of mid LA County. They're going to have HR horror stories. I love those because it's just fascinating to hear all of the horror stories that go on for HR. PIHRA Riverside meeting on the 25th, Courageous Conversations. That's going to be fantastic. Oh, PIHRA Pasadena, talking about PIHRA Pasadena, they have a career development meeting, and they're meeting in the evenings, which I really like because I can go to evening meetings. So yeah, that's really good. I'm not sure, have to jump, doctor's appointment. I thank you so much for, we're almost done. Please reach out to me, connect on our LinkedIn, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I know we went a little long, but thank you for spending your lunchtime with me. Ignacio, you're fantastic. Thank you for hanging out for this hour. I will send these slides to you and the recording. Have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. And let me know if you need anything. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks, Ignacio. Have a great weekend.
Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.